Hello again everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. We are back in the Hissing Wastes for one last time, as, just so everyone knows, I have found the last journal page, and it is here, just southwest of the Sandcrags camp, just sitting here in the middle of some rocks. So, yeah, there it is. That is the quest completed, we can forget about it. A group of human mages have moved in, they're digging out buildings deep in the sand. When I tried to approach them, one of the workers dragged me aside and whispered to me, "Leave," before the Venatori caught me. I wasn't going to listen until he showed me his cuts. These mages have been bleeding him for their spells. I ran. I wish there was something I could do. What do these Venatori want? The buildings I saw looked like tombs in the ancient style. Pharaoh was a master runesmith. Maybe the city revered his work enough to seal it away. Yeah. Okay, so I think basically that is us done in the Hissing Waste, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, there's only the shelter requisition we need to do now. So that is us done, diddly done. So let's head back to Skyhold. I'm going to have a little quick check on my advisors, see how their operations are doing. And I'll also see if we can get, cleanse our inventory. Sell all of our crap that we don't need. And after that, I think we're going to the Frostbacks. I do believe, for the Jaws of Hakkon DLC.
Need wheels for the training dummies. Moving targets.
Yes, down here. I need to go to the merchant area first to sell my things. Then I'll go and make a beeline for the war room. Right, we'll buy, sell here, sell. We don't actually have as much as I thought we did. We don't need Promise of the Storm. I don't think we need these. No, pretty sure we don't. Fairly certain. Stamina amulets. It's good, but it's not that good. Valuables. Yeah, sell all this stuff, apart from the Malachites, because for some reason it seems to be useful. We'll leave that there. Right. So that's pretty much everything sold, as far as I can see. Everything that we don't need. So let's head upstairs. Go through the kitchen. Oh, there's a note here. Note from Scarlet Kitchens again. If I ever find out who put the turnips in the fireplace, I'll personally feed them into the meat grinder. Cole. Has Cole been being a bit naughty again? Maybe. Oh, here's all our bottles. I actually can't find my way out of this place. It's not very often I come into this area of the keep. Is it in the basement? I think it... here we go. Yeah, I know where I am now. Okay, war table. I feel like we have one operation that we need to collect that's been completed. I think, anyway. Let's have a gandaroo. It's over on the other side. This was to reassign the slaves, wasn't it? Yeah. Tildeth, I'm being treated well and the healers gave me something for the cough. The work's hard, but not as hard as I'm used to, and Commander Cullen's a fair man. He lent me a courier so the money from my wages would reach you safely. Oh, that's nice, Cullen. Yesterday, I went to the bar and bought ale with my own coin for the first time in 7 years. I couldn't stop crying. The bartender said nothing, but he handed me another drink. Then the guard captain showed me how they play Wicked Grace in the south. I think I'll make friends here. See, we are a good, loving people, are we not? Aren't we just great? We're fantastic. We're brilliant. Well, I think literally anybody is brilliant compared to the Venatori, but yeah. I think we might need to access the Jaws of Hakkon via the war table, actually. I think it's down here somewhere. I thought it was that. Oh, no, if it's the Ferelden Frostbacks, it'd be here, wouldn't it? There we go. Frostback Basin. Minimum suggested level is 20, so we are kind of on the right path. We're a little bit over leveled, but it's probably ideal at this point, I think. So to Ambassador Josephine Montilier, thank you so much for your earlier correspondence. I confess it's been difficult to get those in Orlais to take this discovery seriously in light of recent events, but I am positive that scouting the Frostback Basin will yield historic discoveries beneficial to both the academic field and the Inquisition. As a staunch supporter, I am honoured to be working in such great company on this historic occasion. Yours most sincerely, Professor Bram Kenrick, University of Orlais. So we need to scout the Frostback Basin. The University of Orlais has vouched for Professor Kenrick. If he says there is something worthwhile in Frostback Basin, we should investigate. Let's go have a look. Let's go and have a look. We've scouted the region and set up camp. Professor Kenrick has the scouts gathering anything they can find. So far, we've uncovered a lot of very old buckles. Hopefully this yields something more exciting. Anyone who comes here should be ready for hostile wildlife and angry Avvar. This place is dangerous, Scout Harding. Let's go to the Frostback Basin. Dorian, Varric, and Cassandra. Confirm. Yeah, to be fair, it doesn't look like an actual Frostback. It's not a snowy area like I thought it was gonna be. It's something quite different. It looks very like kind of green.
Good to see you again.
Codex unlock on Scout Harding and the Frostback Basin. Okay.
Professor Bram Kenrick. He's the reason we're out here.
A pleasure to meet you, Your Worship.
Oh, this guy seems a bit odd.
Professor Kenrick teaches at the University of Orlais.
I came on an exchange program from Starkhaven. While in Val Royeaux, I've found something incredible.
Ah, so you'll know Sebastian, maybe. I don't know. Potentially.
We may be able to determine the final resting place of the last Inquisitor.
Really? I studied Inquisitor Ameridan, yeah.
The texts say that Inquisitor Ameridan was a dragon hunter who vanished on his last expedition.
Yes, precisely. I see you've read Lautrec's Precursors to the Chantry. Inquisitor Ameridan stepped down shortly before the Nevarran Accord brought the Seekers of Truth into the Chantry. He hunted demons, dragons, and dangerous apostates in a time before Templars even existed.
I'm all for history if it means tracking down the equipment of a famous demon hunter.
Yeah, this is a good cause.
If the last Inquisitor has been missing for 800 years, it's only fitting that today's Inquisition help find him.
Your scouts have gathered artifacts from the area. They may help us discover what Inquisitor Ameridan was doing.
I have news as well. We've encountered hostile Avvar to the north. They call themselves the Jaws of Hakkon.
Hence
There's
the name.
also an Avvar
Okay.
hold to the east. Unlike the Jaws of Hakkon, they've been friendly so far.
Okay.
Jaws of Hakkon.
They're hostile Avvar who attack any Inquisition agents or researchers who get close. We've sent soldiers for defense, but the Hakkonites are cunning, merciless, and know the Basin better than we do. I'm afraid our men will not be able to hold out long.
I just wanted to
I
chat.
thought we could catch up.
Of course.
Oh, so this kind of opens up Harding's dialogue a bit. Okay.
All that.
Here and there, you pick things up as a little dwarf girl in a village filled with piggish Ferelden boys. I'm no artist with a blade. I just know what hurts and what takes them down quick. Bruised a shin or two in my day, and a few, other things. And archery? Oh, there was a traveling hunter who set me up with my first bow, taught me the basics. After that, I practiced on my own. On squirrels, mostly. Oh, and Heinrich from next door, but only with padded arrows.
Of course, of course.
I hear you have family in Ferelden.
Yes, my mother and father. I insisted they moved to Denerim once I signed up with the Inquisition. Ambassador Montilier tells me I should invite them to Skyhold. She thinks they'd be proud of me.
Aww.
After Haven. I just can't, It's not that I don't trust you or our soldiers. It's just, I just want them to be safe. And if that means they don't get to see things firsthand, that's okay. My mother likes writing letters anyway.
That's quite sad. It's understandable though that she wants to be cautious. Family is everything after all, and not in the Dom Toretto sense.
What do you think about the Avvar?
When I was a little girl, a lady in our village used to tell me Avvar tales. Being able to see their lives up close, it's nothing like I thought. They're very tall, aren't they? I was considering a proposal for Commander Cullen. Avvar allies with dwarven archers astride their shoulders. They'd be unstoppable.
That's an interesting combination.
Have you spoken to Kenrick much?
A bit. He's quite nice, isn't he? And clever. Really loves his books. I said hello one day while he had his nose buried in a giant tome. His shriek was a winner. I can't stop doing it now. It's too funny.
Stop playing tricks on him, Harding. Come on, leave him alone.
How do you like the Frostback Basin?
It's lovely, isn't it? At least until you step in a pile of bogfisher poo. The stuff's vile. It makes great fuel for starting fires, though, if you can tolerate the smell. I might suggest that to the commander. It could be great for sieges.
That would be cruel.
You want to use animal crap as a weapon? That seems underhanded.
Who said war was fair? I'd only recommend its use as a last resort.
Fair enough.
What are your thoughts about our progress against Corypheus?
Progress? We'll make some progress soon, won't we? Right now it feels like he's won already.
Why?
No, I shouldn't say such things. Evil can't win in the end. I have to believe it can't. Otherwise I'd just start crying and never stop.
We'll talk later,
Continue
Harding.
this another time.
I was gonna say,
See you soon, Inquisitor.
we've dealt blows against the Venatori, the Red Templars. Like, we're making good progress. Don't be so negative. Just believe, okay? Believe, Harding. We will do this. So is there a codex entry on Scout Harding, I believe? Yes. Forward camp has been established in the Ferelden hinterlands and suitable locations for other outposts have been identified. Progress in the area proceeded ahead of projected schedules thanks to a local volunteer. For further details, read on. Slighter was ambushed and overwhelmed by bandits and might have died if not for the timely intervention of Lace Harding, who rescued Slighter with 2 well-aimed stones from a sling. Her family, Mabari, ran off the remaining 3 bandits. Harding and Contessa, the Mabari, escorted Slighter back to the forward camp, followed at a distance by the small herd of ambling sheep that belonged to a neighbour of the Harding family. Once there, she requested a map, which she proceeded to fill out with helpful details, most notably known bandit hideouts and ambush points. Map completed, Lace Harding took her sheep and returned home. We did not expect her to return the next morning, now outfitted with a small bow and leather jerkin, and absent 1 hound and a herd of sheep. Maps are alright, but nothing beats a guide, she said. That was a week ago. She's still here. I took the liberty of offering her a position as a scout. She's persistent, is Harding. That's the dwarven inscriptions about Feral. That's the name. So the Ferelden, Frostback Basin. Halvor often arrives around Wintersend, but given the recent weather I hadn't looked for him, which is why his voice across the market took me by surprise. Lowland, I was owed a drink on my next visit and supper, unless you were getting out of your wager. Maybe I was trying to get out of the bet, but I happily paid the bill at the inn that night. I asked Halvor where he'd last travelled, and he said he'd been trading with an Avvar horde in Frostback Basin. Then he raised an eyebrow at the look on my face, so I described the stories Uncle told us as children, where brave expeditions get lost in places like the Western Approach, Nahashian Marshes, Frostback Basin. He laughed and admitted it could be a cruel place. He described thick forests greater than any I've seen, I'm certain, and darkened swamps. His rule for travelling there seemed to boil down to be wary and alert, because everything can kill you. The wildlife is violent, the cliffs are steep, and you must be mindful of the gods' wishes, here meaning his Avvar gods. Of course, the hunting's good, the trade fair, and the Avvar hold impressive. But do people really disappear in the forest, I asked? Few lowlanders come through, not sure how many leave after. The last was a joke, but I won't be visiting that hold anytime soon. A letter from a Ferelden merchant to his cousin in Hakkon. Right, so the only thing we know about this area is that the Jaws of Hakkon are to the north, and there is a friendly Avvar hold to the east. So, right. Okay, so maybe we should, if we go and speak with Kenrick first, and find out what's happening inside this camp. See if there's anything we can discover. A baffled note. A note affixed to a book entitled Sir Lothair Verney Duret's Victory and Dominion. Lady Harding, I could use the opinion of an expert. Though impressive, the victory outlined on the marked page could not have been achieved as stated. Bram Kenrick. Sure it could if you had enough apples, Harding. I'm not even going to ask. Not even going to ask. Right. A neatly penned note. Professor Bram Kenrick. The requested supplies have been sent to your current location from the university, including additional ink, books on Ameridan, and 3 Divine Age buckles for purposes of comparison. And yes, upon your return you may say, I told you so in regards to my saying your collection was useless. Everything should arrive shortly after you. Of course, roads still aren't what they were. Also, I fed that fish, but I'm not talking to it for you. Professor Chaval Laurent, University of Orly. We'll compromise. I'll feed it, but I'm not talking to it. Understandable. Very understandable. Alright, what's in this book? There's a lot of reading material around. Property of Colette. Pages of neatly written, painstakingly detailed notes fill a well-worn journal. The notes break midway through for a list. Expedition to Frostback Basin. Preparations. Reread Finding Ameridan. Complete. Review notes on appropriate excavation methods. Complete. Practice categorization of minute material artifacts. Complete. Read book on Frostback Basin. Complete. Practice camping. Complete. Note. Bring a pillow. Reread. Reread an anatomy of various terrible beasts. Complete. Learn to fence. Cannot find a willing instructor. Ask brothers for fencing defense lessons. Bad idea. Read book on survival and defense. Complete. Bring towels. Packed. A few idle swirls follow, along with a tiny sketch of an elf defending a stack of papers for various terrible beasts. The caption reads, Fieldwork. This guy seems quite wild? Nutty? Kooky? Whatever the term we're looking for is. Ah, he's Inquisitor Ameridan. What is known about Inquisitor Ameridan would barely fill a page. He was a friend of Emperor Draken. He was Inquisitor when the Seekers of Truth folded themselves into the Chantry as part of the Nevaran Accord, their order serving as precursor to the Order of Templars and the Circle of Magi. Shortly after the Accord was signed, between 122 and 124 Divine, Ameridan left his position and departed, never to be seen again. These facts alone are undisputed, everything else is uncorroborated hearsay, broad speculation, or salacious rumour-mongering. Ameridan did not willingly cede power. Drakon forced the Seekers of Truth to disband upon pain of death, then removed the Inquisitor rather than suffer rebellion in the new Chantry's ranks. Ameridan was forced to retire due to the still young Chantry's restrictions requiring celibacy, as he was involved in a relationship with a mysterious Lady Mage that the Chantry erased from history. Ameridan was a rowdy noble who cared more for raucous entertainment than for the Seekers. He held the position only because Draken wanted a loyal friend commanding the Order, and when the Seekers became part of the Chantry, Ameridan was free to retire to a life of hunting dragons and wenching. Any of these stories may be true, and without more evidence, we have little hope of ever reaching a clear determination. Nevertheless, I would offer a few notes that are often overlooked as scholars delve so deeply into their own historical specialities as to lose key context. Firstly, Emperor Draken, rightly acknowledged as the man who moulded the Chantry into the organisation it is today, was a pious man, committed to spreading the chant of light and creating a world where magic and men were governed by Andrastian principles. All sources agree that Ameridan was a close friend of Draken, and while it is certainly possible that Ameridan was more pragmatic than pious, it is highly unlikely that Draken would have befriended a figure who was actively opposed to the Chantry, much less tolerated such a man holding a position of power in the growing Orlesian Empire. Secondly, Inquisitor Ameridan was universally acclaimed as a powerful combatant, regardless of his supposed faith or lack thereof. Rumourmongers suggesting Ameridan was exiled ask us to believe that Emperor Draken could see no use for a powerful warrior with years of command experience. Given that the Second Blight had been a fact of Orlesian life for more than 15 years at the time of Ameridan's disappearance, with Darkspawn pouring from the Anderfels into northern Orlais in growing numbers, it is frankly absurd to suggest Draken would casually dispose of such a military asset. Without further evidence, we may never know more about Ameridan's departure. Nevertheless, I hope that we may eschew the current popular cynicism, at least when obvious evidence against it is presented, to see that his disappearance must have had some other cause. From Finding Ameridan by Professor Bram Kenrick, Starkhaven University Press. So there's a lot of theories about Ameridan, but none of them are concrete yet. questions of accuracy that moved against them were halted by the light from her most assured hands. It was then she took her own counsel in ways best not set forth here and led the party away. Did American eyes seek hers among those assembled as he relayed the events which led them here? If she stood among us, I did not know her. Yet his hand moved slightly at his side, as my own does when my wife is near, and I seek wordless comfort in the touch of her fingers. We had all heard the whispers. Did he say her name in the telling? Would he have dared? Times were different, but have they changed so much? Excerpt from the writings of Lord Bescon, first put to the page in 148 Divine. A letter follows. Kenrick. This is a precise copy. The preceding pages were lost or removed ages ago. Bescon makes no further references to this woman, although Meriden comes up several times later on. Bescon's writings, as they pertain to Inquisitor Meriden, are not entirely unknown, although you're unlikely to find them among Chantry records. Their validity is largely dismissed. Some have questioned whether the so-called Light and Council reference magic or Holy Insight, and of course, Bescon wrote down his impressions many years after the fact. The author's own wife brought accuracy into question when she admitted her husband was recalling his youth in the Orlesian capital through nostalgia and age, distorted memory. I believe her admission is part of official Chantry record. So it does seem like the Chantry are trying to erase certain parts of Meriden's kind of lore. The one that doesn't suit them. It seems that way anyway. Right, let's have a quick chat to Kenrick.
Scout Harding has an impressive team. Her people brought back a number of artifacts.
Harding is a good scout.
If you need something tracked, Scout Harding is your woman.
If only it were that easy. After 800 years, we can't just look for tracks. Barring enchantment, cloth and leather will have long since rotted away. Only metal and stone remain recognizable. Complicating this are recent pieces the Avvar left behind, and of course ancient pieces dating back to Tevinter. Fortunately, thanks to some period-specific buckling, I've been able to track our last...
These buckles are next level, honestly. Alright, what's that about Tevinter?
There were pieces dating back to Tevinter.
Yes, while it's rare to see Tevinter ruins so far south, the Emporium once had an outpost of some sort here. They might have built it as a ritual site. I'm not sure what military value it could have. In any event, it's muddled up the research slightly, but I've accounted for it.
You lost me at buckling.
You'd think that a buckle was a buckle, but ever since people started belting on weapons, they've been adding bits. One piece here has a dragon engraving. With the alloys of the metals used, it's clearly Tevinter, while this one uses a clasp that wasn't invented until the dawn of the Orlesian Empire. And when it comes to historical research, you might say we have to buckle down.
I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing.
What do you have, Professor?
I'm really not.
Everything so far points to the
Oh,
shore
dear.
not far to the south. There was some sort of battle near the shoreline. They were in a hurry. The scouts reported an island near an Avvar fishing camp, but the Avvar won't say much about it.
Okay.
What makes you think the last Inquisitor was fighting?
There's a clasp here common to armor links. It's clearly torn. That only happens from a heavy shearing blow, like large claws or an axe. Then there's the dagger. Silverite, with a stylized dragon pommel and an inscription reading Cordilis. That dagger had to be a gift from Cordilis Dracon, first Emperor of Orlais. No one would just lose such a thing.
Sound logic.
What can you tell me about the Avvar fishing camp?
Not much. It's the friendly Avvar, not these jaws of Hakkon barbarians. According to the scouts, they wouldn't say much about the area. Likely a local superstition.
Okay, I'll investigate.
I'll find a way to that island and see if there's anything useful there.
Excellent. I'll continue to study what's been found. With luck, we'll both find some answers. Also, one of my research assistants, Colette, was investigating an old structure to the north. I'm not certain it's related to our investigation, but it couldn't hurt to check with her.
Very well. So I need to reinforce the Inquisition troops fighting the Jaws of Hakkon. I need to talk to Colette. I need to check an island, and I need to go and speak to the friendly Avvar. Lovely. So quite a bit to get through in the next few episodes then. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I shall catch you all in the next episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. Thanks again, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.